Hey guys, so in a world where we're all wearing masks, I thought that I would show you guys a couple of tricks that you can use on Google Slides using masks that will really give your slideshows a really great look. So we're going to use one of my favorite themes. I'm going to use film noir to kind of build a slideshow with you just to show you how to use masks because, film noir always has that sense of mystery. So we're going to use these masks and everyone's going to wonder, how in the world did you do that? Well, I'm going to show you how. So first, you're going to want to start with a blank slide presentation. I want mine to be sort of landscape theme because most of my pictures are kind of wide, and that's where the masking kind of comes in. If you have wider pictures that show a lot off to the side or a lot up or a lot down, then you're going to be able to mask it very well. So we're going to start off with a blank slide presentation, and I'm just going to duplicate a couple of my slides. Now, okay, so let's just start off by adding a couple backgrounds. I want to name my slide presentation Film Noir, so I'm going to choose a background image. Now, this is going to take a little while, so you have to bear with me. I'm just going to build it from scratch just to show you my process. Now, I've already got some things pre-made just to cut down on the time, but I want to show you maybe a couple tricks as to how you can do the masking portion that I'm doing. So let me just go into my film noir stuff here. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to get this open door here. Okay, so that's going to give me my background. I'm going to say done. Check that out. So I got this open door. So what I want to do though is I want to have some words come in. But normally if you have words come in like from the side, they're just going to float in from the side on top of your background. What if we could somehow make those words come through that door? That's where masking comes in. It's really cool. So you're going to go make a mask of this particular image. So how do I do that? Let me show you. I'm going to find my folder that has all my pictures in it. And I'm going to show you a program that you can download. So when I click Noir, I'm going to have it open with a program called Paint.net. Now this is a program that you can download on the internet for free. You can also download one called GIMP, G-I-M-P. But Paint.net is my go-to. It's like Photoshop, but it doesn't cost money. So that's for you because it's free, right? So here's my picture, and as you can see, it's you got layout views. You can have different layers. You can have your different toolbars for different things. You can even add effects, and you can download different effects once you get the hang of using Paint.net, and that's for another tutorial. But I've downloaded things that allow me to add all kinds of stuff. For this, you don't need to download anything, though. All you need to do is cut the picture where you want the words to come in. Okay, so this is very minimal. You may even be able to do this with Paint on your computer. Just cut the picture. I'm using this program just because I wanted to give you another application. We're just going to select a rectangle tool. And what you're going to do is you're just going to cut this picture. Now, but I roughly want my mask or my cut image to be on that door. Now that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to go up here to Image, Crop to Selection. As you can see, what I have there is a door. Or what I have there is just my door and the wall. And then the rest of the picture is that open door. So let's see if we can't get our words to look like they're coming through the door. Okay, now I've already done this, so I'm not going to save this, but you would normally go File, Save As, and Paint.net's going to want to save the project, or you can save it as a picture. So you just choose PNG, JPEG, your GIFs, whatever you want to choose. But I chose PNG, I think. So let's go back over to our slide presentation, and we're going to insert another picture. Now I inserted this as a background, so we can't move this around. I'm clicking on it, can't move it. But now we're going to want to insert a picture. So I'm going to insert a picture here, upload from my computer. I'm going to go to that same folder that I had before, and I've already created that mask, which is right here. It's the same thing that you saw me just create. So I'm going to add that in now. And it's the exact same size that you need, so you can get these to line up perfectly. Okay. Stretch it out so it fits the screen. And then when you line that up, it should be flawless. Let's take a look. So you can line them up exactly how the original picture was before, but what you have now is a hidden feature that nobody's going to know about. So watch what happens next. I'm going to add a text box, and I want to have it like this. We'll pick a style. I'm just going to pick this old movie sort of style here. Make it big enough to work with. And I want to choose red. So you can say something like, okay, so elements of film noir. We'll have it come through the door. Now we're going to animate. So you go down to animate. I just right clicked and then you click animate. This brings up the animation toolbar. You don't want to have it fade in. You want to go down and have it fly in from right. Okay, now it's going to fly in from the right, but there's one more step. You have this on the very top of your slideshow right now. You want to send it one level or one layer back. So you're going to want to go back over, right click, order. Go down to send backward, not send to back, because that'll send it behind the original image that you made. You just want to send it back one time. When you do that, you can click off of it. Now, this is what your slide's going to look like. And when you play, check this out. So this is on click. So this is what your slideshow would look like. Then when I click, check that out. Did you see it? Okay, so this is our slideshow. This is how it would appear when we first start our presentation. When we just go click, the words come through the door because I've successfully made a mask. Pretty cool, right? Let's go on. Okay. Okay, so my next slide, I want to take this up to the top. It's going to be my first slide. Then you just want to start adding all of the characteristics of film noir or whatever your theme is for your slide presentation. In my case, I'm going to go back. I'm going to find another background that I want to use to talk about any one of the themes of film noir. I'm going to choose an image. I'm going to browse it out. Let's talk about the setting. So in any film noir film, the setting is very important. You have dark settings, you have low-key lighting. So what kind of setting can we find that will give us the best film noir look? So I've chosen this alley, kind of bring that out. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so in this dark alley, obviously there's some crazy lighting there. But I chose this image for a particular reason. We have one alley meeting another alley hidden behind a building. I can mask this to make it look awesome. So that's where we're going. We want to make sure that we can find images that help our cause. And I found this one. I could have used other images, but this one had this perfect straight line that I can mask really easily, and it wouldn't look very obtrusive at all. So I've already got the mask made. I went over to paint.net, this program. I did the same thing with the image. I made myself a mask. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert that now. So you insert it as an image, upload it from your computer, and I've already saved it wherever the alley was. I typed alley mask. For the door, I typed door mask. So you want to make it easy so you can find the pictures. So here's that same picture, and you want to make that the same size as your canvas. Okay. You just have to play with it until the size looks right. All the lines line up. So you just kind of analyze, do you think that's correct? And now you have a mask that this words can hide behind. So we type the words setting in big red letters, and you can say something like dark setting or anything like that. So now the next step is really important because you want to make sure that you animate and send backward. So we want to animate this, and we want to have it, and these are your toggles to drop it down so you can have more options. We want to have it fly in from the right, and we also want to go back and right click for the order, and we want to send this backward. Let's see if that worked. If not, then we can fix it. And this is on click. Yeah. So that comes out from behind the building, which is really cool. And then you can go through your slide presentation and talk about all the different places that a film noir movie or a film noir story can be set. You want urban areas, dark alleys, deserted places. So you might add some examples of that. But let's go on and do the heading. Next slide. For this background, you might want to talk about one of the next elements of film noir. Now, one of the main elements of film noir is going to be your leading mysterious private eye sort of detective character, which I don't have a picture of. I'll have to go back and find one, but you might consider adding the Femme Fatale. Let's do that now. I have a couple different Femme Fatales. We'll add some color this time, even though film noir is mostly black. Let's add a pop of color for this one. So now we got our pop of red in this one. So we get the contrast. I like this. But we're going to add our mask. Now this mask I did a little bit differently. Actually in Paint.net, instead of selecting the rectangle tool, I went down to the free draw. It's actually called lasso select. But I had to free draw around her dress to get this illusion to work. So, and that's what it is. Masking is just an illusion. So let's go back and I'll show you what I mean. So my mask is actually going to be a free draw of her silhouette. So let's upload from computer. So, and the reason I selected PNG is obvious, but you can see the transparent problems with that, like with her arm, but we can fix that and it should look okay. Now the image is perfectly aligned, but now we have to add our text and see if it interferes. So we're just going to add text, and we're just going to do black this time instead of red. We'll say Femme Fatale. Highlight, make it a little smaller, pull it out a little. We want to send it backward, and we want to animate, and let's play it. So our hopes is that we didn't get too much of the transparent white part in there. If so, we can move it down a little bit. I think it kind of, I think we had more of the red in there at the bottom, so let's see. Yeah, so we can see that through her sleeve. So let's fix that real quick. All right, we can just pull that down away from the white, and you should be able to see it now. Okay. Yeah, so let me just present, and you'll see what it looks like in real time. Or in presentation mode. Okay, so let's go back to original slide. All right, so our slideshow starts out like this, and it's a very intriguing graphic. So if you had the words coming in from the side, just on top of everything else, not very interesting, right? You want something that's alluring to the eye, mysterious. You want people to wonder, how did you do that? Kind of like film noir films, they're very mysterious. So when you want to click, the words come through the door. Very cool. And then we go to the next slide. And now you have this dark alley, which is all about, film noir settings. So you introduce settings coming out from behind the building. Very mysterious, right? Kind of like it's waiting on you. It's lurking to wait on you and jumps out on you when you least expect it. That's film noir. And our next slide is our lovely Femme Fatale. Check this out. There you go. So that comes out from behind the girl. And that's our slideshow so far. We can keep going. But for class purposes, this might be an idea that you want to use. Let's insert. Well, let's do background. By the way, if you insert just a regular image, kids can move that around, or you can move it around and mess up. But if you insert it as a background, it's easier to, because that image always stays at the back. So it's better or easier, I guess you could say, to add a background image. All right, so I have a chart here. So what I want to do is I want to use that chart, but I want to use it in a certain way. So let's actually pull out of this, go back to our folder. I want to open this so that we can kind of edit it a little bit, and I want to show you how that works. All right, so we're going to edit this. I want to get rid of the word responses. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm gonna take the word responses and I'm going to cut. I'm going to go back in and I'm just going to paste some color in there so everything looks all clear. Okay, and I'm also going to take all of these bar graphs out. So I want to take another one and I want to take my bar graphs out. So let's cut that and see what happens. Put some color back into it with the white. Okay, not too bad. So you can use something like this. So we got blue, red, and green. So we're going to use this bar. And let's go save as. I want to say that this is an edited bar. I want it to still be up there so I can use all my data. Now, I found this online, and you can put the resources that you find in your slideshow as well. But let's go back and see how you can use something like this. So if I insert this slide, you might just want to insert it as a picture just so I can manipulate the size of it because I might need to make it smaller. Let's upload. So we want to use this one. Okay. Now we need some data on there. So what can you do? Well, we want to have comedy, noir, and realistic comedy. The first thing that I want to do is I want to add the blue. So you're going to go in and you're going to add shape. The shape you want to add is just going to be a simple rectangle. And you want that rectangle to be solid. Okay. So you can just go in and do a solid rectangle. Remember that one was 10. Okay, well, fill color. These are your tools up here to manipulate your shapes. So we want our fill color to be as close to that one as we can get. So let's try that. And then you want to add a new one. Or actually, you want to animate this one. So let's just go ahead and animate this one. Again, I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. So hopefully I'm not confusing you. But you want to animate each and every bar for your bar graph that you make. So we'll just do it in order. So this is your blue one. You're going to animate it, and it's going to fly in from the bottom. So we're going to fly in from the bottom. Okay, the next one that you make, let's see. So this is going to fly in from the bottom. Now you can see where we're coming from here. So you see how that was shown from the bottom? We don't want that, but just wait. Next is going to be noir. Next is going to be realistic comedy. Okay, now this bar, if you remember, we didn't go up far enough. This was 35. Blue, red, and green data. Okay, so we just made some bars and we animated them, and it looked really good. But what if we could take it a step further? Let's make a mask and make it better. Want to add another shape. So you're going to add a shape. It's going to be the same kind of shape you added before, nothing new. This time, you're going to want to start just under this line. And you go all the way to the bottom of the slide. Now, this one's going to be filled in white. White's down there. Your outline's also going to be white. And now what you have is a mask. Okay, so you would say something like, you could say, in a statistic-based analysis that we did that shows the responses made from three different types of movies, three different genres of movies. Film noir performed the best as far as the response it elicits. So that's what film noir is all about. It's all about the mood and the emotion. Comedy came in with 10 responses, eliciting the most response, eliciting the most emotion. Whereas noir came in with 35, and realistic comedy only comes in at 10. But you see what happened with that mask? Our bar builds on itself. And we can even move this around. We can move film noir to the bottom so that your results are a little better. So you could talk about the two lower ones first. You could say comedy, realistic comedy. But noir is way better than all the other films. Yeah. So it shows us some data. And let's look at that. So check this out. You talk about all your statistics, and I'll put the link in the menu, like the speaker menu, speaker comments. I'll put the link there for everyone to look at. But this is how it looks. Pretty cool. Boom. 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 How cool is that? So this is how masking works to your advantage. All right. So I would continue to add slides and talk about the lighting of film noir. I would talk about the smoke in film noir, smoke or fog. I would talk about different stuff like that. I'm going to continue to add some slides because I really do want to use this with my class at some point in time, just because it's elements of a genre of storytelling. And that's kind of what we're talking about, especially since film noir has a lot of conflict in it, has a lot of mood in it. They have specific themes, often about greed or jealousy, envy, or things like that. And I would add that too. I would keep adding slides about all that stuff just to build on my presentation. But if you use masks, then your presentation becomes that much more alive. This data actually, let me move this down. It actually talks about lighting and emotion. I actually got this particular data that you see here from an academic paper that I found online called Lights, Camera, Emotion, an examination on film lighting and its impact on audiences' emotional response. So, this 113-page paper deals with film lighting in different film, most notably film noir. So you might want to include in your speaker's notes, or even with a link, you might want to include this particular paper. So we would just copy this link, especially to give credit to the author, but we would go back in and we would paste this link so that you can now click on it, and it'll take you directly to the paper within your presentation. So you're adding learning here, guys, using a cool effect to do it, but nonetheless. So we'll go back up to that slide, and we'll go back down to our backgrounds. Remember, you're adding background images rather than regular images because the background images don't move. So we'll choose an image that has to do with lighting. This lamp here, it's a good way to include your lighting in there. So you can mask this off, maybe this building here, and have your words come out that way. You can mask this off, or you could just have lighting appear if you don't want to use the masking portion. And then I found another article, and we'll add text to that as well. But it's this one. I want to show you this one. It's Los Angeles Farewell to Film Noir Sepia. So it actually shows this picture, which I took. So I'm going to give credit to this website by selecting this page. And I'm going to go back to my presentation, and I'm going to add some speaker notes. And I want to paste this link in here because I want to go to it, and I want to give credit. But I also want to add that image as a background. So I want to go up to background, choose image, browse, and there's a really great view on this that you can use for your mask. So when that loads up, look at that straight line right there. So we can have some words come out from behind that. Okay, that looks right to me. So then you write your words. Take a quote. Like I said, you might take a quote from this article, or you might just use the title. Farewell to Film Noir Sepia. We can go back and just kind of put that in there. Okay. Let's play it and see what happens. Yeah. So that comes from behind the building now. So farewell to Film Noir Sepia. And you can see that our link is down in the comment box. So when you go to present mode, you can actually access that. Let's check it out. So, okay. So farewell to Film Noir Sepia. And you just go to notes. It pulls up the box and it shows you the preview, and you can click that and it takes you right to the web page, and you can discuss with your students. Okay, so I hope that you decide that you want to try using masks in your Google Slides, and let me know if it works out for you. Hopefully that this video was somehow meaningful to you and you actually learned how to make a mask. And again, it takes a little bit of prep time. You got to use other programs like Paint.net or Microsoft Paint, or other programs maybe to help you cut those pictures so that you can add a mask. But it can be as simple as this bar and just using your shapes within Google Slides to help you add a mask. If anything, you can manipulate a bar graphic, and that's more academic than anything else I could think of. So if the film noir stuff wasn't working for you, if you don't want to see stuff coming through doorways or windows or behind people or out from alleys, then maybe the bar graph works for you. All right, so thanks, guys.